Hi, my name's Kirk Norbury. I'm a nature photographer based in Scotland, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Shootools Slider One. Shootools is an Italian company which provides professional devices for video and time-lapse photography. Their products are made in Italy and are built to high quality, with high quality material for reliability and strength. Now, I've been using this slider for a few months now, so I could put it through its paces and learn how to use it and see how well it works out in the field. So the slider we'll be looking at today is part of their One series. It's it's made for time-lapse photographers and filmmakers. I've got the 1 meter version, as I didn't want it too big but I didn't want it too small, so I wanted something to get the best of both worlds out of. And I've been using it now for about 5 months probably, and I'd like to put together my review and let's show you what I think about it. First, I'm going to be going through what you get when you buy the kit. Now, I've got the full kit, which includes the 2 motors, a controller, the charger, the carriage, the cables, and also 2 bags for the equipment. So the first one I'll go through is the controller. This is probably the key part of the whole kit because this is what controls all of it. It's very easy to use with clear instructions on the controller for when either in time-lapse or slider mode. You can change the speed, drag or direction easily with just a turn of the dial, making it easy to ramp up the speed at the end of a shot. In the time-lapse mode, you can easily put in how much the carriage moves and how long of an interval between each shot. It has also incorporated the shoot move shoot technology so that you don't get any blurry images while in time-lapse mode. So when you're using long exposures, if I'm doing a night shot where it's a 30-second exposure, you don't want the carriage to move while it's taking the shot. So this is a very key part of technology in the controller. Only one cable is needed to connect the motor to the controller, and it's just an Ethernet cable, and you just connect it inside the controller and the one into the motor, and that's it. That's all you need to do. The battery is inside the controller. Now, notice with other sliders you have a separate battery that you have to put somewhere. The good thing about this one, it's built into the controller. When it's fully charged, you can get up to about 12 hours of shots on it. Even when it's in time-lapse mode, you can get probably up to about 48 hours. So it's got a really good battery in it. Now, the slider has 3 points of contact for attaching it to a tripod. Now, you don't always have to attach it to the tripod. With it, you get 4 adjustable legs, and they're integrated into it, and you can easily take them off if you don't want them on there. Just with a turn of the knob, you can adjust the height of them and change. I think you get 3 settings of how high you want the legs to be. The carriage is, beautifully designed. When you first get it, it's obviously not put together, so you get to see how smooth the carriage moves along the rail without any gears or the motor or anything, so it's just on its own. So it just shows that this carriage will work beautifully just on its own. As I mentioned earlier, with this kit you get 2 motors. Now, it used to be just 1 motor, but now they've changed it, and when you make your purchase, you get 2 motors. So you get the Motor 55, which is the sort of standard motor, which is used for video work and time-lapse. Now, this has a higher RPM, so it moves faster. So what they did is they brought out another motor called the Motor 09, which is basically just for time-lapse. I got mine about a month or 2 ago, and I set it up, and it works beautifully. You can get it very, very long time lapses across it, lasting days all across the slide. I put it on, sometimes I put it on just to test it, put it on its slowest setting, and it looks like it's hardly moving between each shot. On my slider, you could probably get, it says on the specifications that it can get 13,000 shots on a 1 meter slider with this motor, which is incredible. You could have complete day to night, back to day time-lapse shots lasting days and have it going nice and smoothly across the slider. I'd just like to conclude this review with some of my final thoughts. Now, as you can see, this is the setup I use at the moment. Sometimes I'll have it spread across two tripods, but I've noticed using the Manfrotto video head that it seems really good to just be able to use it and keep it still, no movement. So I've been using this quite a lot. In some situations I use it with the legs, which have come in really handy. I must say, after seeing other sliders, I've never had any use with any others except this, but I just now know I couldn't use any others. This one is very simple to use, and the ergonomics, the way it works, the controller, just all work beautifully together. The ability to change the motor really quickly is a huge benefit. All you do is, there's two screws here, you just undo them and just pull it out, and then you can replace it with the video one. Now if you wanted to use this as a normal slider with no motor, again, just take it out, and if you want, you can take the gear belt off as well by just unscrewing these as well. So there's no tools needed, and that's one of the things I love about this, is there's no tools. Everything is easy to take apart and put back together. I've used this in all weather. I've used this in really strong rain and wind, and I still got my time-lapse shots out of it. This gear and the controller was all covered in water, and I was still able to get the shots that I wanted. It just shows that it's really made for the photographer who works in all elements. As I mentioned earlier, this is the controller. You know, it gives you an idea of the size of it. It is larger than most other controllers, but you gotta remember, this is the whole thing. This is your batteries in here, your intervalometers in here, your sliding movements rolling, and it's very easy to use. You've got a little dial on the side here to switch it on and off, and as soon as it comes on, it'll flash, indicating which setting you want to go for. You want to go for time-lapse or sliding. So in my case, I would click the sliding, and then I've got an option of the carried shift, so the S is for shift, and you can move plus and minus how fast it moves between each shot. So if you put it on plus, or put it on plus 38 for example, press it again. Now I could just press this one here, which will start it off, and it'll start the camera off and everything will start going. But what I can do here is indicate the interval. So I can say I want a 2-second gap between each shot, and then all I do is click the red, and that's it. You know, it starts counting down, takes the shot. The click indicates for me, and indicates the controller when it's taking shots. And usually once it gets to the very end, it cuts off, and that's the end. I would prefer if when it got to the end it would carry on, and I'm sure that can be worked out in a sort of firmware update. These are the two motors that you receive. Now this is the sort of the original one, which is the video and time-lapse one. You know, it's got a good fast motor on it, you can get good speed out of it for video and going across. But you've also got this one here, which is their time-lapse one, which, you know, is really good for very small increments. Overall, I've really enjoyed using the slider. It's been a hell of a great tool for my photography. I've been able to try all different types of time-lapse in night and day scenarios and get the shots I'm after. You know, I think a lot of people stay away from sliders when it comes to time-lapse because it can be quite confusing, and at first for me it was. I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, but once I learned the controls and how easy it was to set up, you know, all I needed to do is connect the Ethernet cable from the motor to the controller and the intervalometer cable from the controller to my camera, and that was it. And then I just put in my settings and leave it to it, and it does the job for me, and it does a wonderful job at that. You know, the sort of dimensions of movement between a scene just look beautiful, and you just couldn't capture that style of photography and time-lapse with a static shot. You just couldn't get the feeling behind the shot without using one of these. The slider's made to high quality. You can tell as soon as it comes out of the box. A lot of work's gone into it to make a high quality product. It works flawlessly, you know, I haven't had any issues with it at all. Every time I put it out, it does what it does, and it does it to a great standard. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Shootools Slider One. You can check out more of their products at shoottools.com, and make sure to check my YouTube channel for more reviews. Thanks for watching, see you later.